What's up? Welcome to the feature match area here at GP Stockholm. My name's Ronnie Knight, joined by Raphael Levy from the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. Good evening, Raph. Great to have you along.
Good evening, Riley. How are you?
I'm very well, my friend. It's fantastic to have your company for this Bant Spirits mirror between Andre Strasky and Oliver Moon. Both of these players tilting for a chance to get into that final, that GP final. 10,000 clams on the line for the winner of the tournament, of course, but they've got to win this one first. The semis kicking off a bit of a slower start for Strasky here with a Noble Hierarch on turn 2, but Oliver Moon out of the gates like a shot with an Aether Vial.
I think Andre mulliganed as well. I think he has 7 cards total, and that's his turn 2.
So a rougher start here.
So he might have mulliganed once.
And Oliver Moon is going to cause Andre Strasky to check himself before he wrecks himself here with a Mausoleum Wanderer. Doesn't do a whole lot in this matchup, again, although it does contest those collected companies.
No, it's cheap body.
What is going on with this Mausoleum Wanderer? I mean, at least the other spirits have some kind of general corporeal relevance.
Oh,
this
he
one's
does.
just
No, he does.
It's just a slug. It's a slug with little tentacles.
Oh, your face was a slug. Come on. This guy's.
Wow, all right. Just the ad hominem attack straight
he-
away by the look of things. My goodness me. Anyway, Mausoleum Wanderer.
He does like have the little wings. You can see the little wings.
Yeah, I just don't know what that's the spirit of. I don't know what sort of dearly departed being has let that Mausoleum Wanderer loose. Here's a Noble Hierarch now for Moon, flashed in with the Aether Vial.
They're called spirit slugs like this. Yeah.
Well, slugs, I mean, presumably slugs also produce spirits.
All right.
I mean, the soul of a slug is it's no less worthy than that of a human.
All right.
So both players with the Noble Hierarch, but certainly Oliver Moon miles ahead here, both on cards and on board presence, you would think. Active Aether Vial, plenty of mana to work with. Looks like a Geist of Saint Trapped in his hand as well here, Raph. Maybe a couple of Geist of Saint Raph. Attack with the Mausoleum Wanderer, just for one. Strasky not going to block.
It's another Aether Vial.
And that's going to provoke a Spell Queller here for Strasky, playing conservatively with his life total, leaving that Horizon Canopy untapped. And nothing else for Moon. Doesn't have that third land.
Yeah, Andre just wanted a random target for Spell Queller. He was going to deploy it anyway, so might as well be an Aether Vial. The Aether Vial is not doing a whole bunch here.
Make hay while the spirits are spooky as the Spell Queller comes across for 3 thanks to the Noble Hierarch trigger. And here is, in response to the Aether Vial, a collected company. Strasky not looking to run into something like...
Pretty good play because he knows Oliver does not have 2 casting cards, Spirit in hand, so the Wanderer is not going to be pumped.
That's exactly right. He knows that he doesn't want to run into an activation of the Mausoleum Wanderer there.
Actually, he could have a Phantasmal Image
That's true.
that he wouldn't have played because of the Spell Queller.
Well, in any case, Strasky slips this collector company through the net, and let's have a look. Ooh, some good hits here. Double Drogskull Captain. Get it done. +2/+2, and the team gets hexproof as well if both of these are picked by Strasky. I think he had a couple of other options as well, but it's very, very difficult to turn down the double Drogskull. Strasky, after a mulligan, firing on all cylinders here. Moon with his mulligan up to 3, but the Moon may be waning here rather than waxing, as these spooky boys pump up the jam for Strasky.
That was a strategy used at PT Honolulu.
Double Drogskull.
Double Drogskull and Phantasmal Image. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Along with, I think, the Delver deck. That was the first iteration
of
the
Delver deck before it got refined and started playing Geists and other images and that sort of thing. Here is Geist of Saint Traff now, going to pump up the Maelstrom Wanderer, and another Drogskull Captain here, this time on the side of Oliver Moon. So that's an attack for 4 now. Very tidy attack for Moon here with the Wanderer. Going to knock Strasky down to 13. He's not interested in blocking. His Air Force currently outstripping Moon's. And let's see what Strasky's going to pull together for his next turn here. He's got a Maul and Haunt in hand.
Which is going to be fine is if he manages to trade. If the Gates of Centraft attacks, then Andre can just chomp with a Noble Hierarch and turn it into a 3/3 flying hexproof spirit. Which is a little better than the 0/1.
He's a little bit better.
It's a little bit better,
Just a little bit better here. So Strasky, I think he's got a Spell Queller in hand in addition to that Mausoleum Wanderer. Looks like he's on the Land Station Basics game. Could be certainly a slap on the wrist for that for Strasky later on. I'll be having words with him about that. Oliver Moon, however, not pulling out any stops. Look at that beautiful foil island there. Doesn't get too much of an opportunity, this list, to show off any basics, but it's important still to be refined. Or not. Just slam some of those Land Station Basics in there.
So one interaction you might wonder about is whether it's not on the table yet, but you can think of that if you build a deck or if you are going to be in that situation. If Andre play his Moorland Hound and plan to exile his Hierarch from the graveyard, if it dies in combat, he cannot take the mana to activate the Moorland Hound. There's no.
Oh yeah, he can't float the mana and then use it. Yeah.
That's something to think of, to keep in mind.
Very, very minor, but yes, it's just that one of the little 1%ers there that's going to be very important. 1%.
Yeah, sometimes it's very relevant because that means you cannot tap. This is one mana you have to keep for the Moorland Hound, and you can't use the Noble Hierarch to do anything else.
Noble Hierarch, Moorland Horn, also an all-star of that blue-white Delver deck we were talking about before, Raph. It's great to see it getting. Look at that Horn. Look at that mansion there with those big spooky. I would not go and sleep there. No. Unless it was one of those situations where like a great aunt had left it to me in her will, but in order to inherit it, I had to sleep there for a night. I'd probably do it then. It's a nice piece of real estate. Look at that.
It's usually what you get after you walk for 3 hours in the forest.
Yeah, and you're like, well, anything will do.
I think there's no vampire in this one. Only spirits.
Just spirits. Yeah. No. A vampire would be living in a stone castle.
Oh, yeah.
Not that sort of Quedlinburg style, woodwork there. So Moon cycling away his Horizon Canopy.
And finally, the land, the third land,
looking for some more action.
The second land,
and it's going to be another Noble Hierarch now for Moon, which is going to eat a Spell Queller. Strasky aggressively deploying.
Yeah, again, he just wants to counter anything that comes down.
Yeah,
he knows they can't be targeted anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're safe.
Moon is drawing blank if he finds Path to Exile. The only target is something like a Noble Hierarch. And Strasky, with a wealth of fantastic draws, any spirit is a great threat. Any creatures that die are just going to be eaten up by the Moorland Haunt and inherit their great aunt's mansion there.
And at 6 life, Oliver Moon is facing something that's very close to lethal.
Yes, indeed. As we say, a waning gibbous rather than a waxing crescent here.
Man, and that hand is double collected company.
Oh, with nowhere to cast it. So Strasky, exiling that Noble Hierarch, did good work.
Attacking for lethal here.
Look at this, taken to the skies. The Royal Air Force takes off. And Oliver Moon has seen enough. A very, very strident win there from the Czech player, who pulled that together marvelously after an early mulligan.
That collected company.
That was what did it.
Ahoy, Captain.
Yeah. Very good indeed. The double Drog Skull. More than enough to wrap things up there for Strasky, and you can see he's very happy with himself. Both players going to hit the sideboard, Raph, but you mentioned before, probably not too much is going to change. As we have a look at Strasky's...
Are these the exact same sideboards except for the Unified Will and the Disdainful Stroke?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
It just positions differently.
Yeah. We try to mix it up by putting them in a different order just to confuse you, my friends. But no, I think it's more or less the same.
Yeah.
What about Geist of Saint Trap? Want an extra copy of that one to hit hard? Or is it just not... It's not evasive enough, is it?
Yeah, it's very good against other type of decks.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets blocked pretty easily here.
It's very true.
So I don't think an extra Geist is necessary.
So maybe just bring in those Dromoka's commands. Maybe shaving...
Maybe the Phantasmal
Image?
Phantasmal Image.
Yeah, Fantastic Image.
You know what could be cut as well?
Yeah.
The Case of Sentry.
Yeah, they're just never connecting.
No, and they don't fly.
You get in one attack for 4, and then just, your Grey Ogre gets blocked. But what about Mausoleum Wanderer? Or you're just wanting bodies on the floor nice and early? Maybe take it out? Or is it just...
I like it against company. I like it against company.
And we can see now as we move over now to Oliver Moon's banned spirits, you can see that the only difference in the sideboard, 3 copies of Unified Will rather than that Disdainful Stroke that was in Strasky's list. And I think in the main deck, there's no Rattle Chains.
Yeah, there's one. Strasky's playing 1. And Moon is playing...
It might have been extra land, I think.
Could be an extra land.
Might have been extra land there. Because otherwise they looked very, very similar indeed. 3 Phantasmal Image. We can compare it again with Andre Strasky's list there.
It's a game for the
Yeah,
kids.
it's spot the difference.
Spot the difference. Yeah.
Spot the difference. Get a little Levan up here and get him to tell us what the difference is here. In any case, it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, my friends, because these lists very, very similar. This is a list that has taken the modern format by storm. Whoa, that is a very odd piece of positioning for those two players. A beautiful piece of symmetry as those two were shuffling up there. I really like that. My goodness. Looked like a mirror right in the middle of the feature match area there. And now, players putting the finishing touches on their lists. And we'll get underway with game number 2. Strasky, of course, picking up an early lead. And we'll see how things go. So, Strasky, fueling up. Got to stay hydrated. Let's have a look at these opening hands. Maybe Strasky's going to find a 7 he can enjoy this time. Let's have a look.
He enjoyed his 6 just fine.
He did. Looks reasonable. Oh, no, now it's Moon going down to 6.
Is it reasonable? Is it
just the one lane? I thought he might have had 2 caverns there. Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh, no. Strasky boy. My friend.
It's time to retire.
Yeah, it's time to retire. Give it up.
Time to retire again.
You can concede the game at any time, my friend.
Never keeps.
Never keep, never look. You can't keep a 10-card hand, so you're going to go down to 6 here. Both players on a mulligan to 6. We'll see if they can perhaps find 6-card hands that are going to suit them a bit better here. Of course, untimed matches in the semis. Players still have to play at a reasonable clip, but all the same, we're not going to have things fizzle out into a draw here. What are the key cards they're looking for in their opening hands here, Raph? Do they want to get on the board early with Noble Hierarch, Mausoleum Wanderer, or are they looking for those bigger, more top-end cards like Drogskull Captain?
I think Drogskull Captain is pretty key in this matchup.
Yeah.
Most Crusade creatures.
Most Lord effects are very powerful.
Lord effects,
Supreme Phantom amongst them, of course. And Supreme Phantom also very important because of its role as a blocker.
Yeah, 1/3 is a pretty big game.
And pumping it up to a 2/4 as well means it can be very difficult to punch through. So both players going to examine their openers here. Let's see what they can find. 6 cards for Moon. Looks like he's got Ether Vial and a land to cast it. Moorlandhaunt Forest as well. Is that a Plains in the back as well?
Is that 4 lands, Vial and
a Spell Queller?
No.
A rough one for Moon. Strasky, on the other hand, has got a Drogskull Captain. Can't get a good look at how many lands he's got here.
It's at least one. Is it a...
I think it's a Cavern of Souls.
And a Noble Hierarch.
All right. Oh, no.
Moon's hand had like 4 lands, a Vial, and Spell Queller.
And Spelly Q. So Oliver Moon down to 5. Strasky thinking about his... What do you name? Human with the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, of course.
With the Cavern of Souls?
Yeah. And
just get it out there. All right.
I mean, well, how is he going to kill the Noble Hierarch? Is he going to
path it?
Path to exile? It's fine. Or a Jumuka's command. That would be pretty bad.
I guess that's the worst case scenario here. But Moon down to 5, so a rough position for him. Hanging on by just a thread here. He's digging his fingernails into the cliff edge, but he may be tumbling into the briny deeps below if he can't find a hand that suits him. Well, he's going to keep. This one looks a little better. Both players scrying now. Strasky on 6. Moon keeps one on the top.
Ooh.
So 2 lands, Supreme Phantom, Drogskull Captain here for Moon. So he's not doing too badly.
Andre's hand is pretty good.
And now he finds not only a Cavern of Souls, but also Horizon Canopy here.
No, Andre's hand is actually very solid.
Is it stacked?
Yeah, Noble Hierarch, double Lords, and a Phantasmal Image. Supreme Phantom, Drogskull Captain, and Phantasmal Image.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure that's what you want to have in this match.
Supreme Phantom now for Moon. But Strasky, as you say, going to have access to 3 mana on turn 2, which is certainly a lot more than 2. It's exactly 1 more, in fact. Frank Carsten nodding his approval for my basic addition skills there.
50% more.
Now Drogskull Captain the play here for Strasky.
And now next turn, if he draws a land, he can go Phantasmal Image on the Captain. So all of his spirits will have hexproof.
Yes, even the
image, which is
it's a big game.
Yeah, it's a pretty good combo.
It's what is known in the business, Raph, as large game.
XL game.
XL game. Enormous game. as a Phantasmal Image. Copying Drogskull Captain here by Moon. That's a good...
yeah, Oliver is not doing too bad himself.
Good angle for him to take, especially after Mulligan to 5. We're going to see a Mausoleum Wanderer to top things off here. So Strasky, if he's got...
Vile.
Okay. He's got a path to exile as well, so he may go after that Phantasmal Image.
Yeah, I think that's a good play here.
So deploy the image of his own and path. So first of all, we'll see Phantasmal Image here, probably also copying the
Captain.
The Drogskull Captain.
A good thing about playing the path here is that he's not going to give Oliver a land.
Not going to give Oliver an extra land here, thanks to the fact that the image will be sacrificed before the path resolves. So here's Phantasmal Image, copying Drogskull Captain, as we say, and in it comes as a 3/3 hexproof, attacking now for 4, thanks to the Exalted trigger. Moon down to 15.
Now, Oliver could have blocked, but then he would have been wrecked by Path to Exile.
And back to Moon now. Or is Strasky going to... nope, okay. And in response to this Drogskull Captain, we'll see Path to Exile. So again, the image is sacrificed, not exiled. And a Drogskull Captain means that Mausoleum Wanderer attacking for 3. In addition to the Supreme Phantom as a 2/4. All the Anthem effects really add up, huh?
See, the only attack possible is with the Wanderer.
Comes across for 3 here. No, for 4, excuse me.
4.
Coming across for 4 because it also gets the trigger.
Double Lord bonus. And the +1/+1 from the Wanderer's ability.
Back to Strasky now. Finds another Horizon Canopy off the top. Got a Collected Company in hand. He can fire that one off this turn.
But not too good against the Wanderer.
Very true.
Actually, it's not even that bad. You get rid of a 3/3 flyer.
yeah. 4 mana, instant speed.
It's 4 mana, -3, -3. Is that
yeah.
That's a card, right?
And it ignores hexproof as well.
That was a card in M19, right?
Probably.
-3, -3?
Yeah. Throttle? No, that's -4, -4.
No, Throttle is -4, -4.
Something.
They 3 and black, -3, -3.
Yep. Well, Strasky considering which foot to put forward here. Going to kick things off with a Supreme Phantom. And, of course, all of his dudes have hexproof. So just one of the Drogskull Captains getting busy here. The other one staying back on defense.
5/5.
Taking it for 5. Moon down to 10. Getting +2/+2 from the other Lords. And then the Exalted trigger from the Hierarch in addition to that plus the 2/2 base stats. So Moon has a third cut of his life total. Let's see what Strasky wants to do next here. Could play an Ether Vial. He's got another Horizon Canopy as well. Didn't get a good look. Oh, no, of course, the last card is the Collected Company we mentioned before. So Strasky himself going to 10 in order to cast this Vial here. Another Horizon Canopy. Back to Moon now. He's going to fetch with his Windswept Heath. And the card you were looking before, Raph, is Strangling Spores.
Strangling Spores. There was no way I remember the name of that card.
No. I don't blame you for it.
I had Last Gasp in mind, but that only costs 2.
Last Breath?
Last Gasp.
Oh, there's a different one.
It's
okay.
one black and 1.
Yep.
It's a little better.
Than Last Breath?
Than Spurling
Spurs.
Burning Spores.
Double Drogskull also here for Oliver Moon. So the captain's out and about for both players. Everything's hexproof. Spot removal does nothing. And another player playing sweepers as well. So essentially, these boards are more or less unassailable for any kind of interaction. See what Moon wants to do here. He's slightly under a little more pressure, I would say. But now just going to attack with everything, so Strasky gets the chance to line up some blocks.
There's a big plus on Moon's side. Andre Strasky's mana base is double canopy or Urzen canopies.
Yeah.
So every time he wants to do something, he's going to take damage. So
which is more relevant than usual here.
Yeah. Is there a way Andre can take a hit and attack for the win?
So Strasky, his opponent with, I think, still a card in hand.
Yeah, but if it's one card, what can it be? Like,
Mausoleum Wanderer to block.
yeah, he would have played before attacks to pump his Wanderer.
You think?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right. Well, if Stresky can navigate this here, he only has one blocker to get past on the crackback.
So the Supreme Phantoms are 3/5s, and Captains are 4/4s.
And the Mausoleum Wanderer is a 5/5, I think. And so
that would trade. They would trade the Captains. And the Wanderer is 5/5. Yeah, he's 5/5.
So can Stresky not just line up blocks so they all bounce off each other and take 5?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Isn't that working?
If he blocks the captain on the Phantom,
yeah.
and the Phantom on the captain,
and then that leaves Oliver with one blocker.
do they not just bounce off each other?
I think so.
Okay.
And then and then he cannot attack for lethal because Oliver's on 9.
Yeah.
Then he has one blocker. He would block a captain, take 3 from the Phantom, and 4. So it would be only 7 damage. Would leave Oliver down to 2.
So Mausoleum Wanderer, pretty good. We talked about maybe taking it out post board, but obviously it doesn't seem to be the right. You just need a warm body. Or a cold body.
I think it's good. I mean, being able to counter Collected Company is good.
Yeah, yeah. And also just as a 1/1 flyer that eventually grows to Sarah Angel-like proportions, or even bigger. Look at that. Build your own Baneslayer here with a 5/5 flyer.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Andre. Like, the Origin canopies are really tough here. The thing is, last turn, I think Andre could have attacked with his own captain and not the image. So instead of losing the captain this turn, he would lose the image, which is considerably better.
Yeah.
But also he risked the captain combat last turn. So it's really not sure what was the best play. I think Andre had time to think about it. Maybe he didn't see what was going to happen that turn. But now he's left with the image in a worse position than if he had to keep the captain. Not extremely relevant since Oliver did not keep a white mana open for a Path to Exile.
Uh-huh.
But in the long run, keeping a captain is obviously better.
So Mausoleum Wanderer trading off against the Drogskull captain here. Strasky's going to take 8. And this is going to open the door for a Path to Exile, but it's going to cost Strasky a fair chunk of life. Look at this.
7. 4.
Oh, 7.
4 and 3.
Excuse me. 1,000 pardons, Raph.
Yeah, so now he can fire the company.
Might do it main phase here. See if there's a way to punch through lethal damage. Although it's going to be quite an ask. With Moon on 9, hexproof blocker in the way. As a 4/4.
He needs a blocker. He needs another Lord here.
So down to 1 now is Strasky, and needs something very special off the top.
There's a Lord.
There's a Drogskull captain.
Oh, and 2 Lords.
And a Supreme Phantom as well.
2 Lords.
Great stuff here for the check. It's exactly what the Doctor ordered.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to put some big blocks in the way here. You can see him running through the combat maths, figuring out exactly how the attacks and the blocks are going to shape out. But double Lords off the Collected Company.
Really good stuff.
2 Lords are leaping here.
And then now he can attack with the Phantasmal Image.
And leave back 3 blockers. Oh, he's going to attack with both.
Are they lethal? It's +2/+2. +3/+3. So the image is 5, and the other one is 4.
So
all right. So they're lethal. He has to block.
So now Moon has to block, which means that he isn't going to be able to kill Strasky on the crackback.
No, it's good. Good attack.
And does this mean he loses the Drogskull captain?
He will.
Because the Supreme Phantom is a
Otherwise
4/6. Yeah.
That attack would have been pretty bad.
Pretty bad. No. So Moon gonna have to throw this Drogskull captain under the bus. Looks like the captain will depart this world.
No way around it.
For the sweet embrace of death. Blocking the Phantasmal Image. So Supreme Phantom comes across for 4. Hallowed Fountain now for Strasky on 1. This band list not full of haste creatures. Off the top, Oliver Moon facing down 2 blockers. That collected company was enormous,
That was great. That was insane.
Found exactly what I needed in the form of double lords. But, of course, with 8 copies of these lord-type creatures in the list, we call them lords after the original lord for Merfolk, Lord of Atlantis.
Goblin Lord as well.
And Oliver Moon, hoping to play to his outs of Andrei Stratsky forgetting to block, having his brain melt in his head and leak out his ears, which is unlikely to happen, I would say.
No, if he blocked the other way around, that could still work. But Andre had like a really good play. They played really well the turn before when he double blocked Wanderer.
To ensure that his collected company would resolve. And a path to exile seals the deal for Andrei Stratsky. He's through to the final. Congratulations to the unretired professional pro. He's hit gold and now just 1 match away from a GP championship here in Stockholm. And of course, commiserations and congratulations to his opponent Oliver Moon all the way to the semis of a GP. No small feat. And you can see that Dramoka's Command, the only card that the players brought in. So Oliver Moon, congratulations, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you at the Pro Tour here. But Andrei Stratsky, we will see you in the finals. We move back now to our back table, and would you look at that, my friends?
It's game 1.
What a surprise. We haven't even finished game number 1 between Branko Nairink and Joel Larsen. I would not be surprised if 0 damage had been done by anything other than fetch lands. I mean, those 2 soldiers are tapped. They've gone after Teferi, I would imagine. Nairink on 18 and Larsen on 17.
But there's some lightning helixes as well. So.
Yes. Okay. Well, boo. Never mind. Anyway, in any case,
so that just says that maybe he took damage from the shock lands.
Life totals remain relatively unchanged. Very late in the piece, Joel Larsen. Look at this messy boy with his graveyard splayed out there like a bowl of spaghetti. Branko Nairink has his nice and neat there. Looks like we're in the middle of resolving something, or a question seems to be in the middle of being resolved here. But the game had a bit of a deadlock with dueling Teferis. Nairink maybe changing that here with, what's this? Supreme Verdict on 2 soldier tokens. Larsen happy enough to let it resolve. Doesn't have too many other options. What's his hand looking like here, Raf?
So Branko has a Field of Ruins, double Celestial Colonnade, pass to exile Cryptic Command, and is that Wrath of God? And on the other side, Joel has another Teferi, pass to exile Logic Knot, and a Terminus.
Terminus. Please leave the bus here. Have you ever taken the bus to the Berlin airport?
To what?
To the Berlin Tegel airport.
No, I haven't.
When you arrive at the final station at the airport itself, it says it in German first, and then in English it says Terminus. Please leave the bus here. It's like, well, mate, I wasn't going to take it with me. I don't think I'd be able to get it through security to begin with. Definitely not going to fit in my checked-in luggage.
Although that's funny.
I think it's a very good joke.
It's very funny.
And every time I cast a Terminus, it's what I think of. And you know what? No one can take that away from me. Here's Celestial Colonnade now from Larsen.
That was good.
I'd just like to point out that Raf is actually smiling. He's got quite a wide smile on his face. He's trying to play it very cool. He thinks he's the coolest kid in school. But he did enjoy my very dumb joke. The joke actually isn't mine. It belongs to a friend of mine, Thomas.
That's even worse then.
I know. But I tell you what, I've gotten full mileage out of that joke for a long time. Thank you, Thomas, for everything you've given to me, including this wonderful joke. Celestial Colonnade doesn't make it across the battlefield here as Larsen is...
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly. Surprisingly. There was creature interaction in the hand of a control player.
That was a Field of Ruins as well, so... It was very unlikely that it connected.
So Larsen... so was the Field of Ruin that... No, it was a Path to Exile. It was a Path to Exile.
No, but that was also
Field of Ruin.
Yeah.
I was just checking whether the basic should be tapped or untapped.
Either way, he would get a land.
Yes, but it gets untapped all the same thanks to Teferi, the hero of Dominaria. And...
Lightning Helix for Teferi.
Yeah, pretty good. Go after the hero here. Let's test the age-old axiom. They say heroes never die, but it looks like Branko Nairink may be challenging that particular piece of Swiss logic. Teferi.
I think the Nickelback song was about Teferi.
What's that one?
The hero, the Spider-Man song.
You know what? I'm not ashamed to say I'm unfamiliar with the general oeuvre of Nickelback.
Well, they're singing about Teferi.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't think I've ever listened to a Nickelback song from beginning to end. Teferi goes down swinging here as Lightning Helix resolves. Larson opting not to fight over it. I don't know if you've listened to any of the music that I've produced with my quote unquote band, Queens of the Stone, Queens of the Stone Rain.
The Stone Rain, yeah.
But
there was the 20-second song.
Yeah, little 20-second songs. You can find them on SoundCloud if you want to. But I was actually considering a friend of mine, Mark. He was suggesting band names, and he suggested Nickelback Lagak as the name for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I really liked Arcade Fire Blast, but that one didn't track too well with the intended audience.
So since we've been around here for about 5 minutes and we followed the whole match, it might come down to decking.
It may indeed come down to decking, and that's why we're seeing players count their libraries here.
And I like the fact that they're counting because there's ancestral visions being suspended. So, and with ancestral visions, you can't target your opponent.
Oh yeah, you can blast your opponent out the sky.
Yeah.
Yep. Target you, my friend. Draw those 3 cards.
That's actually a win condition, white-blue. There used to be a win condition.
Really?
Yeah.
With actual Ancestral Recall or just Ancestral Vision?
No, Ancestral Vision.
Ancestral Vision.
You should watch that match I played against PV.
Oh, yeah?
In Valencia.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I did. I was on card viewer for that one.
In Bilbao.
In Bilbao. Yeah. I was very excited to see it. So Naring now. Considering what he's going to do about this opposing Teferi here. We've seen an opt-center card below decks. Looks like it's going to resolve here. Naring with the burn spells he needs in order to...
Wow.
Oh, very good. Very good, Yoel Larson.
That's aggressive.
That is savage as he steals the die from the opposing Teferi.
And see the Teferi adding a card in the deck as well.
Yeah. Yep. So in any case, not living long thanks to that lightning bolt. And I think Larson is now out of Teferis. Naring is playing 2. And Larson also playing 2. Let's see what's next on the menu for the Belgian here. Looks like a Field of Ruin activation. And in that regard, at least, Larson certainly has the upper hand when it comes to basic lands. Naring only playing 5 to Larson's 8.
That's probably why he's not using the Field of Ruins for just value here.
So, Naring now puts aside that Field of Ruin. See what he wants to do with all this mana here. Going to see a Field of Ruin activation on the Celestial Colonnade. By the look of things, Naring well and truly ready to take down the 4/4.
Yeah, I could see how that game... how Jeskai Control can win the game. Because, well, white-blue just runs out of win conditions. And the bolts and the lightning helixes to take care of the planeswalkers, and then there's no win condition.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying.
But how do you actually make top 8 with that as your win condition as white-blue? Like, how long does it take?
Nearly going to time every round. Naring will be absolutely exhausted by this time if he's navigated a sea of white-blue pseudo-mirrors here.
Yeah, Joel is going to deck himself.
Well, he's going to draw 3 cards, and Naring's like, yeah, sure, buddy. You got it.
You can draw 6 if you want.
You'll draw extra cards. No, that's fine. I'm not going to do anything about it here.
I mean, he has what are his win conditions now?
Well, I think he's just got to get there with the colonnades. Surely.
Yeah, that's...
Larson discards another copy of his Ancestral Vision. And Naring ships back to Larson now. Is he going to have enough time? Activates his colonnade. I don't think Naring has... Naring has no more answers to it. He's out of Paths. He's out of Fields of Ruin. And another Celestial Colonnade for Yoel Larson as Rich Hagen walks past with a big old smile on his face. He's loving every minute of it. 0-0 game score. 17-17 life totals. A big fist pump from our exalted captain here. But Larson's looking to change that very aggressively. 3 cards left in his library.
Yeah, with double cryptic commands, that probably not going to make it.
Is he going to be able to here?
No, I don't think so.
So, an attack now for a whole bunch. 8 life.
Has he played land? Oh, he played land this turn, so Branko can just tap bounce.
But we're going to see a negate in response here from Larson.
Oh, we have counters there.
But Nairink will almost certainly fight over this. He's got a logic knot. Man, Nairink might win this one on decking.
A logic, yes.
A logic, yes. So away they go. Logic knot for 4.
He has a logic.
Not.
Not.
Another cryptic in hand for Nairink to see off the next attack. Larson in a tight spot here, doing his best impression of George Clooney in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know that Larson is a Dapper Dan man, but he is also in a tight spot here with this logic Nat, tapping down his team.
He needs to attack 3 times?
So Branko with 15 cards left in his library. Larson only has 3, as you can see there. Oh no, look at this, and a logic knot. Look at Larson desperate to push through damage wherever he can. And Nairink with another copy of Cryptic here.
I think he's going to play another logic.
Oh, he's got another logic knot.
Not.
He's got another logic? Not.
No, he does.
Yeah, well, I think Larson would
Like, he needs to attack 3 times with both of his colonnades. So that means that if they're tapped now, he still gets to attack 3 times, unless Branko just Cryptic and bounce. So how would that work?
Well, right now, Yoel Larson, in response to this Cryptic, has said, well, Nairink has said, tap your team. Larson said, I'd rather not, and cast his logic knot. And then Branko, presumably, has also said, I'd rather you not. I feel like these players are really missing an opportunity to make the most out of those classic gags if they didn't do exactly that.
Classic.
Oh, I got him. I got him, ladies and gentlemen. It took all week, but I got him.
Classic. That's the.
A very good gag. I like that one. I thought of that one 100% myself as well.
Yeah. You were actually. That was your joke in the first place.
So 5 more mana now for another cryptic another colonnade activation here. Nairink, living life on easy street. Larson.
Just playing a fetch land for. I think playing a fetch land was actually a pretty big mistake here.
Yeah, why's that?
Because if Branko decides to bounce a colonnade, he can't play it again.
I can't replay it. Yeah, that's
But
bad.
the thing is, he probably does not have a land left in his deck, and even if he does, then that would take a turn away from him.
And a path to exile for Branko Nairink. I don't think Larson can win this one here. It's looking very bad, although Snapcaster Mage might have something to say about it if he's got a Dispel in the bin. But no, this is game 1. Of course he doesn't have a Dispel. And so instead it's going to be another Logic Knot, or a Negate instead. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, but still fine. Now he only attacks with 1.
Nairink takes 4 down to 13.
But now Branko can play Cryptic Command and bounce the Celestial Colonnade.
Yeah, which can't be played this turn.
It can't be played again.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Oh, geez, that's rough. Larson has been taken to the
that
cleaners
that
here.
would be by far the best play, I think.
Okay, well, Nairink, Cryptic Command.
He can
4
decide
mana.
to draw, but if he bounces the Colonnade, I think he just
He
wins.
just locks it up.
He just wins
He
on
just
the
locks
spot.
it up, yep.
Since Joel played his Flooded Strands. Oh, no, okay. Never mind.
All right, counter draw.
And
that means-
another counter spell.
That means that the lone Celestial Colonnade is going to get across, but Nairink down to 13. Larson, a single Celestial Colonnade facing off against his biggest enemy, the 2 cards left in Larson's library. And you can see Nairink there with those 3 Scalding Tarns off the side. They're not doing anything. And now a Wrath of God to remove the Snapcaster Mage.
How many Snapcaster Mages left in the deck?
Well, Larson's only playing 3, so he can't have too many for sure. He's going to search for Azcanta now for Nairink. Larson draws his second last card. Hoist by his own petard here is the Swede. Ooh. Finds a V-click. Does that change anything?
That might.
Well, sure as eggs, Larson will definitely be attacking with his Celestial Colonnade this turn.
So it'd be 4 and 7. That's 11 damage. Still not enough. He needs more.
Can't
more
do it.
power here. Yeah.
Oh, poor Joel Larsen. As we see, Nayrink picking up game number 1, Jeskai control.
Everyone's in bed.
There's just nothing doing. These white-blue control mirrors. If you're not here in Sweden, it is about 2:30 in the morning. We've just finished game number 1 of this
it's
blue-white
actually
mirror.
winter now.
Yeah, it's December, ladies and gentlemen. The snow is thick on the ground. But we will have a look now at the 2 lists that are going up against each other here.
Leaving now. This is just going away.
This is gone. No, they're going to move over to the other table to bring you coverage of games number 2, perhaps even number 3 if needed here. But here is Nayrink's Jeskai control list. Now, early on, Raf, I mentioned the fact that I think Jeskai is favoured in this matchup. You heavily rebuked me.
I said I didn't think so.
You said, you're a fool, Riley.
All right.
Jeskai control could never win, not in 100 million years, and I'll eat my own socks if it happens. Now,
They're pretty good. They're pretty tasty.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, we're going to go for a nice dinner afterwards, but I know what you're going to be trying. The waiter's going to come around. You're going to say, no, thank you. I'm fine. My dinner's taken care of. But how do things change post-board here? You mentioned the fact that Bolt, Helix, Electrolyze aren't the best cards in this matchup. How does it change now that...
I think they're still fine to deal with Jays.
To Planeswalkers, yeah.
But still, I think it would cut a little bit of them.
So what are we looking at here in the board?
Surgical Extraction, another Vendilion Click, Dispels.
Which spells?
That joke is old, man. We've been through this one.
Which joke?
That joke. Dispel, Disdainful Stroke.
Which Disdainful Stroke?
Ancestral Visions, probably.
Most of the board, right? I think all of it except for the Purges and the Rejection. And the Settle.
Banesley Angel.
And the Settle. I think you're bringing the Angels for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like...
The Rejection and Purge, you bring everything else. No, probably not a Settle.
Yeah. So apart from Settle, Purge, and Rejection, I think the whole thing comes in, and you can take out... Or Electrolyze.
Yeah, that... But, we saw Bronco play 1 in game 2
that's
the last round.
Yeah.
So I would take out Electrolyze, but
I don't know.
Maybe it's not actually that bad. It's probably better than a Bolt, than a Helix maybe against Snapcaster Mages and Vent.
That's true. Yeah. It can take out them for sure.
Do you take one path?
Maybe trim a Wrath or a Verdict there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of options here. I mean, Cryptic Command I don't like all that much post board. It's very difficult to leverage properly in counter wars.
You can probably take one out.
Yeah, just shave down on that sort of thing.
How about Search for Ascanta?
Oh, you got to keep that in. You got to keep that in, right? I mean, I'm asking the question. I wouldn't touch that. That's a great card advantage engine. Selection in the early game as well.
Well, you don't really make card advantage. Like, it doesn't really provide card advantage that much. Against a deck with full Field of Ruins, you get maybe one.
Yeah, okay. All right. And a Ghost Quarter.
And a Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, let's have a look at the list. It has 4 copies of Field of Ruin and a Ghost Quarter here. This is Larsen's white-blue control list, as you can see. Plenty of cards for him to take out. Oust, Tonally Reinforcements, and what have you. And plenty of cards for him to bring in as well. Plenty of counter magic. I like the Spell Quellers in this matchup, as well as the extra V-Click and the Surgical. What are your thoughts here, Raph?
So the Angels, yes. Dispel, yes. Negate, definitely. Spell Queller. Is Spell Queller good? I'm not so sure.
You're not convinced?
Against Bolt?
I suppose not. I guess I'm more thinking in the white-blue mirror. It's
good.
really good.
Yeah,
but it actually becomes a little bit of a liability as a 2/3, right?
Yeah. So I guess that's why. That's click 1, extraction 3, negate 4, the instant counter an instant 6. I'm not gonna say the word, so you don't get to make your stupid joke.
Wait, which spell are you talking about?
And the angel, so that would be 7 cards.
Mm-hmm. So Larsen may be making perhaps smaller changes here compared to Nayrink, who, again, as we said, has a lot of cards to bring in and quite a few cards to take out as well.
Well, he played the matchup probably the whole weekend, probably just one game. Maybe he didn't even get to play that many game 2s.
Yeah, he just won game 1 on decking and then and then wrote it out. Well, he's going to have to win the good old-fashioned way in the semi-finals, of course, because there is no time limit in these top 8 matches here at GP Stockholm, where the format is modern. My name's Riley Knight, joined by my good friend. Well, he was before.
It's GP Stockholm 2018, 2019.
Yes,
it's over like.
It's going to
bridging over 2 years.
It's going to cross over 2 years based on the length of time these mirror matches have gone on.
Game 3 will be.
But as
I'm
I say,
actually enjoying this game. So
I'm loving it too.
I'm totally fine staying up.
I cannot
all
get
year.
enough of the white-blue mirrors. I really, really do enjoy them. There's a lot of finesse. There's a lot of strategy involved with them. And for the people who are falling asleep watching these, well,
no, that you shouldn't.
I don't know. You're missing an opportunity
do you
to
have
learn something.
Plans for New Year's?
Not at the moment.
Game 3?
I mean, I've got to be home for my sister's birthday in Australia on the 2nd of February.
Oh, that's gonna be.
I'm going to cut it fine. I'm going to cut it fine to make it back to the air. Oh, Branko liked that one. He liked that joke. There you go. Anyway,
that was a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one.
This one was good.
Righty night, joined by Raphael Levy, my good friend. Well, as I say, up until I've milked the Dispel joke for as long as possible. And you know that they're both bringing in 2 copies of Dispel. And you know that when the card is announced, I'm going to make the joke again. So strap on your boots for that one.
If only you were the only one making that joke. But Rich is also making that joke.
Yeah, I know.
So when you got replaced, I got to hear that joke again.
He's a person of great taste and refinement.
Come on.
It's the best joke. It's the best joke.
No, I'm not going to ask.
No, do you know what the best joke is?
I do not.
What do you call a donkey with 3 legs? A wonky.
Nice.
It's a pretty good joke.
It's not related at all to the game we're
No,
watching.
not at all, but it's still a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Then again, the bar for good jokes is pretty low, seeing as I spent 3 years as a primary school teacher. They'll laugh at anything, 8-year-olds. They'll laugh at anything.
That's why you think you're a comedian.
Yeah, because I've had to clear a very low bar for most of my professional life. Doesn't seem to be much of a higher one here, however. I seem to be able to just pull all sorts of stuff out of thin air. Here's Joel Larsen now. We're off to the races. Game number 2 between Branko Nairink and Joel Larsen. Jesco control on the left-hand side of the screen. White-blue on the right. The Swede on home soil here in his hometown. Joel Larsen, of course, a Pro Tour champion. Nairink has won a Grand Prix in his time. But it's an ancestral vision. A great turn 1 start for Larsen. Cast off of a hallowed fountain.
Like with more wind conditions, Joel is not really worrying about getting decked after game 1.
Game 2 is not. It doesn't. It's a completely different kettle of fish. He's an island now. Looks like Larsen may have a turn 2 play. Perhaps a search for his canter. Called it. In fairness, there aren't too many other.
Yeah, that was not going to be a Lord of Atlantis.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be. It wasn't going to be Squire. So Nairink now. Maybe go fetch a hallowed fountain of his own, perhaps here. But Larsen off to a good start. It has to be said. I think this is this is the sort of
2 pretty good turns. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the sort of start you want in this mirror match. Let's see what he's going to get up to here. Hallowed fountain. Coming to play untapped by the look of things. Maybe there's an opt to cast here.
But you're right, search for Escanta is still good in the scry mode.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running like 3 logic knots.
And snip snaps as well. Don't forget about Tiago Chan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Joel had the is Joel running Rest in Peace?
No.
He's not, yeah.
No, I talked to him about this actually. He prefers the surgical extraction because he just he never wants to play Rest in Peace in the same deck as Snapcaster Mage.
Which makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, Mad Lord Snapcase has been in a lot of weird decks over the years, but Rest in Peace is not his best friend. Here is a Serum Visions for Larsen. So the lands keep flowing here for the Swede, which is what he wants to see. He's got a Celestial Colonnade in hand, Glacial Fortress on the top if he wants it as well with his Scry. Looks like he's going to keep them both on top. Yeah. All right. Plays a Colonnade and says go. Both plays with Search for Azcanta. Nairink having a think about the card on top of his library here.
Colonnade go. He knew about it, so no need to scry.
Mm-hmm. Knew what card was on top. Knew that he wanted it as well. And so we'll see now. What Larsen's going to do on turn 4 looks like a stone cold nothing. Great move for any control player. As Nairink has a think about what's on top of his library. Doesn't want to secure the wastes. That's a one of. And there's the Electrolyze as well for Nairink.
I don't know what he cut.
Maybe he got to sideboard. Just clicked OK before he had the chance to drag cards in and out.
But he has a Disdainful Stroke in hand, so.
Oh, what? Oh, what? We Disdainful Stroke? Oh my goodness, you just serve it up to me every time. It's like a delicious plate of chicken nuggets.
I'm going to call the cards in French, so you don't. We don't get to.
Oh, then I have to look up Qu'est-ce que c'est le disdainful stroke?
Yeah. I don't even know the name. I don't even remember that.
It's probably stroke disdainful would be my guess.
Could be.
Oh, that's my guess. So Nairink on his turn 4, going to try to counter this Vandilion click that comes down.
Do we have a counter? No, we do not have a counter for 1 blue on the Joel side.
So V-click going to hit the bin here.
Une botte dédaigneuse.
I don't know what which is in French.
Laquelle?
Laquelle botte dédaigneuse? The joke doesn't translate too well.
no,
I mean, it's not that great in English, so it's definitely not going to be much better in French. Larson unable to commit to the board with his 3-1 here. And Manley going to hit the bin as well, thanks to the search for Azcanta.
Sistral Vision giving Joel a very good card.
Yeah. Yep.
He wants to hit cheap counters, and he got one in Dispel. So he can deploy his Jace here.
Which spell? So 5 lands here now for Larson. And is going to see an Ancestral Vision suspended.
So what do you think here?
Just about that.
Like, why would you not cast your Jace here? Like, what's the reason behind it? I mean, if you have a Dispel backup.
To defend it.
Yeah, the only thing would be counter to Fairy.
Oh, and then you tapped out.
That's the... Yeah.
If Nairink can then land it to Fairy and tuck away the Jace, that's a problem.
That's probably the worst. Yeah.
So instead we see Snapcaster Mage on Opt by the look of things here, which will be a slight setback in the Burke and Wills expedition to try to find search for Azcanta. The Sunken Ruin remains mysteriously hidden away. Larson scries 1, and he's going to draw it as well. Likes the look of the card on top. So it's back to the Swede now, who's hitting his land drops, drawing extra cards, and now has not a huge clock, but Snapcaster Mage may be able to get some work done, although Nairink is holding on to that Electrolyze. Another land off the top here for Larson. Not a bad position to be in for the control play. Wants to hit his land drops.
We already stated that Electrolyte was good in the match.
Yeah.
We stated.
Oh, we covered that.
Yeah.
We covered that off. Here's an attack now. Tiago Chan getting in for 2, Nairink down to 15. And Larson ships again. I like this. I like that he's playing it a bit slower here. And Nairink also opting to take 2 and then fire off the Electrolyze. Slow, cautious play from both players.
I mean, life is not that relevant. I mean, you can't take 2 and not tap out.
I thought you were going to say life is not that short. We've got all the time in the world to enjoy this mirror match.
No, life is not... It's even worse. What I say is even worse.
Yeah.
Life is not relevant.
Life is not relevant, no. We can sit here until the eventual heat death of the universe, ladies and gentlemen.
And then have a break for Game 3.
Exactly. Yep, we'll have to transport it into an alternate dimension in order to get across game number 3, because this universe will be spent up, I would think. Back to Nairink now. Thinking about the card that he's got on top of his library. I think there's been enough time for an ancient civilization to start to develop, pottery and the wheel, train horses,
and
discover
make statues off
out of porphyry. That's the next step on the tech tree, isn't it? So finally, we have the expedition is successful. Search for Azcanta. They come back. They say, "We found it. We found it, Mr. President." Azcanta, the sunken ruin, buried beneath the waves. They go, "Congratulations. Well done, Lewis and Clark. You've done magnificently."
Is it where the Immortal Sun is? Is it in Azcanta?
No, he's in Orazca.
Orazca.
Yeah. No, Azcanta's under the water, mate. Kind of an Immortal Sun there to go out.
Yeah, if it's in
water.
Waterproof.
Oh, in a waterproof. Yeah. That's very true. Just put the sun into a water. Whenever you're traveling with a portable sun, make sure you put it in a waterproof box before you go anywhere near water. You don't want your sun to fizzle out. Snapcaster Mage now for Branko Nairink. And what's he going to do here? Maybe go after that Electrolyze, try to get a bit of extra value. But a Cryptic Command from Larson's going to stop him. Disdainful Stroke here for Nairink. That's a disdainful stroke.
Oh, he's like, should I counter? But then I can't
Yep.
flashback anything.
Yeah, fighting over this Snapcaster Mage at this stage, a little bit of a moot point here because Nairink is not going to be able to flash anything back.
So he just countered
to
get a 2-1, to get a blocker.
He committed a lot of resources to resolving that
No, but that's good.
Silver Claw Bear.
Joel is not drawing a card now.
Okay.
Well, that's a 1 for...
1 for X.
1 for 1, I guess.
1 for 1, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't seem great.
Well, the Cryptic would have been a 1 for 2.
And it did
constrain 1 for 1.
It did constrain Larsen's mana here at least a little bit. Teferi hits the bin, thanks to the search for Azcanta. And looks like this expedition has also been successful.
Azcanta is everywhere. Azcanta is like the old signs.
It's not hard to find.
No, there's signs everywhere.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. You go down to the end of the road. It's like, all right.
Tourist information. Where can I find Azcanta? Oh, it's just there. just walk about a couple turns.
Exactly. They've got their backpacks laden down with iron rations and hardtack, ready to go.
It's full of tourists, man. It's not what it used to be.
That's it. It really isn't. Selfie sticks everywhere. There are those people trying to flog you. Fake Ray-Bans and
all the garbage all the garbage filled
overflowing
with
rubbish.
Yeah.
No, you really don't want to go to Azcanta, especially not this time of year. It's just choked with tourists. You know where I like to go? I like to go to Aklazotz.
Yeah.
Temple of Aklazotz. That's a sort of off the road. We probably haven't heard of it.
That's during standard season.
Yeah.
Aklazotz. Yeah. It's so messy, though.
I mean, I was going to Aklazotz before it was cool.
It's not very clean.
No, it's not too bad.
It's blood everywhere.
There's blood. If you can overlook that, I mean, that's just a legitimate cultural experience.
All right. Yeah.
That's just good, clean living. Well, not clean, but still. Larsen now, double opt in hand. Zestful Colonnade as well, but it's going to be 4 mana and Jace the Mind Sculptor here. Branko Nairink is out of resources at this stage. Just cryptic commands in hand. He can only cast one of them, however. And if he wants to...
Joe does not have a counterspell.
Yeah, this is a pretty gutsy move here from Larsen. What's his response? Opt into counterspell? Man.
I don't think he does. I don't think he has any response.
No, just going to let that resolve. And so that's a very favorable exchange here for Nairink.
So, in the end, he ends up in the exact same position as on turn 5. Well, he could have jammed the Jace was a Dispel backup, and now he's still vulnerable to Teferi.
4 cards off the top, and a Cryptic Command comes down for Larsen. He's got double opt in hand, hasn't had the time to fire them off here, but he's going to be able to defend the suspend of Ancestral Vision. 3 cards off the top, and a fresh one as well. Double Field of Ruin is nice, and a V-Click as well here, Raf.
Now, all of a sudden, he's up with a lot of cards.
A lot of cards. Relevant interaction here as well against the opposing Azcanta. Nairink on 9. He's going to trade off these Snapcaster Mages. And with a Field of Ruin here, Nairink will look to get a bit of value out of his Sunken Ruin while he still can. I imagine this is going to be the very last time he activates it here. And in response to the activation, Field of Ruin. Both players can fetch a basic. Again, this transaction definitely favours Larsen, and as he's the one with 8 basics to Nairink's mere 5. It's going to be a Plains here for the Belgian.
Oh, wow, I just realized something. Have you seen The Last Avengers?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No, I haven't seen it.
I can't make a reference to the Celestial Colonnade being defeated by Thanos.
Oh, no, I know. I understand that.
Yeah.
The reason I understand that is because I saw someone posted...
There's so many memes about it.
Well, someone posted on Twitter a picture of the new Spider-Man game with just powder inside instead of a disc.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it, so I looked it up and I understood that was obliterated by Thanos or Kratos or whoever it was.
Kratos. No, Celestial Colonnade is just...
is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
No. Well, I knew about it and I saw the movie.
And yeah. I mean, I know what happens. I haven't even seen the film. So, if you haven't seen...
It's a good one. I enjoyed it.
If you haven't seen Infinity Battle yet, then you probably should. Dispel on the hand of Nairink, in addition to that Cryptic Command here. And an Opt as well here for the Belgian. Larsen is going to deploy his Vendilion Click. See if Nairink has something to say about that. Doesn't look like he does. Oh, no, okay, changes his mind. And we're going to see perhaps Cryptic Command here in response. Or is it going to be Logic Knot? Nairink certainly taking his time to pick his poison. Oh my goodness me. He's really tapping and untapping those lands. Going to be a logic knot. Exiling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the graveyard. And Larson is just going to let that one resolve. Away goes the V-click. And now an activation of Search for Azcanta here will reveal Teferi, the hero of Dominaria. This is a hard-hitting heavyweight that's threatening to put in some work for Yoel Larson. Nayrink very wisely keeping as much mana available as possible. He does have Cryptic into Dispel here.
Oh, Spell Queller.
And Spell Queller off the top now for Larson as well to help.
So he did bring it in.
Nope, not going to deploy the Teferi. And there comes a point where Larson has to look at that life total of Nayrink and go, man, you're only on 9? I can get you.
At some point when they're going to be, when the dust settles, he can finally attack with the colonnades.
Here's Cryptic Command. And Larson, almost certain to have a response here with a copy of Negate. That's going to mean a Dispel, but I think Larson is going to have the last word here. He's got a Cryptic Command in hand. So that spell gets played. Larson fetches an island, and he's got a Cryptic Command in order to take down the opposing Cryptic here. And look at this stack. Teferi, Cryptic, Negate, Dispel, Cryptic, and Nayrink with nothing left to say loses the counter war. Teferi comes down. Back to Larson now. Going to draw a card, untap 2 lands. And you would think, Raf, if Larson gets to his next untap step, this one's in the bag.
Do we really have to wait for his untap step? I think he's way ahead now. Let's not.
And Nayrink doesn't find what he needs. He's got a Steam Fence, another land, and that means that Larson didn't even need to untap. Raphael Levy is going to have a sore arm later on tonight from all the high fives he's giving himself. That's just applause at this stage, I guess. Yeah, I probably could have phrased that better. But here we go to game number 3. Call your secretary. Have them clear your calendar because we're going to be here all night.
Now we just have this game and then another match.
And then one more match, which also will feature a white-blue-based control deck here at GP Stockholm. The semi-finals being brought to you live from the capital of Sweden. Riley Knight's my name, joined by Raphael Levy out of the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. What a pleasure it is to have your company, ladies and gentlemen, for this exploration of Modern with Celestial Colonnade back on top.
So white-blue control is going to be here to stay. And if you plan to play Modern, you're going to have to start to learn how to play the deck, how to play against it.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Do you know a friend of mine?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, wow, okay. Just immediately throwing shade. I do have people that that I consider friends.
So if you're talking about me, fine.
Savage. You know, there's a friend of mine. Is there? Is there really a friend of yours, Riley?
Okay.
All right, a friend of mine.
All right.
Toralf. Toffel Severin. Yeah, do a little podcast with him.
You're one friend.
I've got more than one friend.
The one real friend.
No, I've got Yamin Kalf. He's a good friend of mine as well.
Okay, sure.
Matei.
Ah, come on.
And do you think he's just pretending?
Yeah.
That's within range for him, isn't it? He's such a nice dude.
Yeah. He's
such a nice dude. Actually, I was at a friend's wedding, right?
Okay.
In Denmark. It was fantastic. And one of my mates got up to give a speech. And we're all friends with the groom rather than the bride. And he gets something saying, Adrian's so lucky to have found someone as generous, as warm-hearted, as kind, and as thoughtful as Ida. But then again, having said all that, she may just not have broken up with him because she doesn't want to hurt his feelings. She may just still be pretending. We'll never know. But now they're married. It's too late. It was a good line.
Okay, cool.
It was a good line.
Good to set a wedding.
It was a good... Yeah, great thing to say.
Nice.
Adrian's there being like, really? Should I have checked here?
Yeah, there's no dessert. Sorry. You gotta have to.
I'm gonna go and talk to Ida here and make sure that this marriage isn't just because she's too polite to break up with me. In any case, my friend Toffel, he's playing KCI, and do you know what his new sideboard tech is against white-blue control?
No.
He's playing Thrun.
Oh yeah, I've seen Thrun.
Yeah,
I've seen Thrun.
He's playing Thrun, and I think it's a great call. I mean, it still dies real nice to Teferi, to Terminus, but that's basically all that will kill it.
Yeah,
it pressures Planeswalkers really well, and they don't. This is the other thing; they don't expect it. I said to him, "It dies to Terminus."
The cat is out of the bag now. You betrayed your friend.
Sorry, Toffel. Sorry, Toffel. I'm so sorry.
He gave away his secret text.
I'm so sorry, Toffel. I'm so sorry. But he said, right, I said, well, it's a Determinus, right? And he says, who is keeping Terminus in against KCI?
I mean, it's not too bad. Terminus is not
against
bad against
Psy and that sort of stuff, yeah.
Against Psy, against Scrap Trawler.
Yeah.
It's not actually...
it's marginal, but still, my point here, my long and laborious point...
That you have a friend.
That I do have... My point is that I have a friend. I have someone who, who calls me a friend. No, my point here is that people, as you say, if they're looking to beat Blue-White, they should look to cards like Thrun. They should look to resilient anti-control cards that are going to put up the numbers post-board, and even cards that can be included in the main deck, if possible.
I mean, like, with Assassin's Trophy to take care of Teferi and Jace,
along
with the Control Response, you could have, like, a deck that resemble Blue-White Control, but in other colors.
Jund Control.
Yeah, Jund Control.
Jund Control.
They have Dispel, you have Control Response.
Yeah.
You can counter their instance. Oh, you're boiling it. I have to
I'm being a good boy. I'm being a good boy. I'm not saying it. Here we are, my friends, once again into the breach with Nayrink and Larson, both of them kicking things off with a Celestial Colonnade, and Nayrink the perfect turn to play in a search for Azcanta. Let's see what Larson has to say about himself. No search for him. Nayrink is going to have a think about the top card of his library. We'll see if Larson can draw ahead as he did in game number 2. Certainly much more convincing performance from the Swede after a long and tiring game 1 loss to Decking. An opt here for Larson. Let's see what he opts to do with the top card of the library here. Dispel already in hand. Which spell? That spell. Back to Larson. And he finds a V-click as well. That's a nice bit of early pressure should he choose to deploy it. Although we've seen him be pretty conservative with deploying those threats in previous games, Raf.
Yeah, Vendilion Click is a nice win condition. A nice way to check your opponent's hand before you actually do something relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's the peak effect of Vendilion Click that's very important.
Larson and Nayrink trying to decide where that checklist card should end up. I think it started in the graveyard, moved to the exile zone, and now it's...
probably in the commander zone
now
somewhere.
It's in there, the command zone or some other zone. It's in the... this isn't a real card right now zone. And Nayrink.
Is that land? No land. Wow.
Doesn't find land, and that could be the beginning of the end for the Belgian here.
I mean, his hand is pretty good.
It's not going to be any good if he doesn't have the lands to do what he needs to do. He's going to fire off... oh, no, he can't even fire off the Essence Scatter, or the Electrolyze, I should say, to try to draw an extra card here. So Nayrink...
no, but he could... the thing is, he could have Field of Ruined a land to find the red mana. Oh. To find a mountain.
Yeah, mountain, yep.
But then, if Adi run into a Cryptic Command...
be pretty bad.
Then he would have just lost his land.
Yeah, for no value. Now, I like this from Larson. He's playing a V-click with a Dispel backup. And he's going to have a look at Nayrink's hand. And, you know, in this position, does Larson even remove a card from it, considering that Nayrink is so desperate to draw land?
No, I think that's good. I think you leave everything. I mean, if you take out a Dispel, there's another one waiting. You don't want to give the red mana. Although, now Branko can just use his Field of Ruins to find a mountain.
Larson accidentally selecting 72 point type as he writes out the hand of Nayrink. That is the biggest note-taking I've ever seen.
It's Comic Sans too.
Oh yeah, it's really rough, isn't it?
Yep. No pickup here.
Not going to take anything here. So Larson is free to beat down with this Vendilion Click, and you would think this is going to have to force some kind of response from Nayrink. He needs a way to deal with the click, and we may see an activation of Field of Ruin.
No, he has time. I don't think he's gonna sacrifice anything.
Really?
As long as he doesn't have to discard. Which card discard?
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah.
I was going to say it if I could have got away with it. But a Field of Ruin off the top now for Nayrink. He's got his 4th land. Plenty of counter spells available to him, but not Cryptic Command.
Yeah, he can afford to take a few damage here.
All right.
He's have time.
So Larson, with his shopping list of cards there, going to head down the milk bar, go down the deli bro, and pick up what he needs for the week. And in comes the Vendilion Click once again, across for 3. Click go these shears, and Nayrink down to 14.
They are. They're 3. 3 fairies. Vendilion Click she. It's they.
Oh, no. Excuse me.
There she is.
I said, click, go the shears. It's a traditional
Oh, no.
Australian folk song.
Oh, okay.
They go, click, go the shears, boys. Click, click, click.
Oh, that's why I didn't get it.
No,
Right.
no. It's. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't understand a very thinly veiled reference to a traditional Australian folk song about sheep shearing in the 1930s.
So, as expected, as soon as Branko targeted a land, Joel responded by bouncing it.
Oh, and this is such an unorthodox play here.
So this is savage.
But Nayrink is going to get no value off of that Field of Ruin.
He's very little value. He lost his Field of Ruins, and Joel bounced his land back and drew a card.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a really super weird interaction. Larson bouncing his own land in order to counter the Field of Ruin activation, which keeps Nayrink off of red. Although now a Path to Exile can remove the click if Nayrink gets very desperate. We'll see what his next move is, but things looking grim for the Belgian here.
I think the first pick of Cryptic Command of the Search for Iskanta was maybe a little greedy.
Should have dug a little bit deeper for that land.
I mean, he really needed the fourth land.
Yeah. And now with that Field of Ruin
falling behind
play being held off by Yol Galaxy Brain Larson, bouncing his own land with Cryptic Command. And now Click comes in for another 3. Let's see if Nayrink is going to respond with a path here. I mean, how low can he get his life total?
5.
Just more than 4
Yeah.
is the key number here. Yeah.
I mean, he has so many answers. The Colonnade is going to be much harder to deal with if he doesn't have a path.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if he fires off a path against this Click, it means that he's not going to have it for later Colonnades.
Yep.
Whereas the Electrolyze does nothing against a Colonnade.
Nope. Does have the work, but the work needs to be
the work needs to be fully complete. Yes, exactly. Otherwise, the timer resets. The progress bar goes back to 0.
It's like you restart your computer in the
middle of an update.
Yeah.
It tells you not to, Raf.
Yeah.
Please don't shut down your computer.
Did it say please? I don't think that's polite.
Yeah, it just tells you, doesn't it? It's like don't turn me off. You start hovering your finger towards the other. Get away.
That's what my son is doing now.
He's
the light on the computer. He's like, can I touch?
A button. A button. Yeah. It's like, can I press it or put it in my mouth? That's the phase that he's at. I noticed he was having a munch on your Pro Tour.
Oh, my badge, yeah.
Your Pro Tour badge.
He likes it.
What was it? Strawberry flavored? Oh, dear. Larson now. Plenty of lands for him to play.
Now it's really Joel's game to lose here. Because Branko's needs a few things to go his way. First, he really needs a land. And then what? Because he has not much action. So
back to Nayrink now with Larson. Just playing the Colonnade.
The good thing is that next turn, if it's not a land, he will be able to flip the Search for Iskanta
and finally get another land. And a V-click hits the bin here.
So that's probably the best scenario here. If he draws a red land, that's the best scenario.
He's in business because all of a sudden he goes from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So he can flip the search now.
I think he has to.
Is there any reason not to?
I don't think so. Maybe for the extra scribe, but I think getting the extra land is so important here.
Nayrink also has a bolt in hand, which he could have cast. I mean, he could activate the Field of Ruin and then cast the bolt off the mountain.
And then you have mana to counter back. Yeah, I think you have to.
Okay, all right, yep.
And then he draws the red mana.
It's kind of successful.
Still no red mana.
Doesn't find the land that he needs here.
It's still fine.
Something.
As long as he's on more than 5, he's fine. He doesn't have to fire anything.
Back to Larson.
But also now he can use the Field of Ruins to find the red mana.
Yes. Snapcaster Mage for Larson.
Because he has a Dispel backup for
an opposing Cryptic.
Yeah.
And Larson this time isn't going to be able to contest that by the look of things. He's found a Snapcaster Mage off the top. Teferi in hand as well for the Swede.
Actually, now I feel like Branko's chances went up a little bit.
His hand was very good, right?
Yeah, he still has a lot of active cards.
Got a lot of action.
Yeah.
Dispel, negate, Cryptic, Electrolyze,
he manages to
bolt,
be able to cast them,
and a path. Might even be double Electrolyze here.
Yeah. It's gonna need to find a way to cast them. Like the timing is gonna be a little off because tapping 3 mana he needs to be able to cast them next turn.
So once again, Larson gets busy with the Vendilion Click.
Yeah, and Larson with 3 Pass to Exiles, they don't do anything. And Teferi, he doesn't want to tap out for Teferi.
Well, maybe he does
Maybe
here.
he does. That's going to run to negate. And
Yeah.
But he knows about them.
Yeah.
He knows about these cards. Because he Vendilion clicked.
That's okay. Larson is...
He's torn, yeah.
He's very torn. He's doing his best Natalie Imbruglia impersonation here.
Yeah.
4 mana.
The perfect man.
Is Jarl Larson the perfect man?
Well, he's torn.
He's close to it. Here's Larson with his Teferi. Now, Nayrink, of course,
gonna
a wealth of responses to him available for him. Dispel in the hand of Larson here. Kept that Field of Ruin untapped. Negate, says Nayrink. Larson, is he gonna fight? No.
No?
Okay.
Huh.
Puzzling.
All right.
Puzzling. Back to Nayrink, however. Can he find a red land? No, he finds a Teferi.
No land.
Finds a Teferi instead.
Oh man, if he plays it right, if he slams it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Because Joel cannot counter.
No, Jarl can't deal with it. He's only got that Dispel. Dispel. Back to Larson. Draws a Flooded Strand for the turn.
That's not great. I mean, that turn is going to be crucial because Branko is going to be able to fire off his Electrolyze.
And Larson sitting on a Snip Snap in addition to Dispel and a Cryptic still in hand here for Larson, I think. Could be wrong about that.
No, he doesn't have it. He has a Snapcaster Mage.
Snapcaster Dispel.
Yeah.
Path. Okay. Not a great hand here for Larson. He can flash back something from his bin. We're going to see another attack now from Larson with the V-click. Is this going to be the one that provokes a response? No. Nayrink down to 5,
he's going to
as
do it
you
at the end of the
said.
turn. Does Joel has the mana to play Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic, and Negate? In that case, Branko will miss again on the red mana.
Path to Exile now on the Vendilion Click. And at the moment, Larson can flash back Cryptic Command and cast Dispel. It's Dispel in hand rather than Negate there.
Oh, Dispel, yeah.
So Snapcaster Mage, the play here for Larson.
I think that
is this going to...
That must resolve.
The Snapcaster Mage here, in addition to Cryptic Command and Dispel available here for Larson.
I'm puzzled here.
Yep. Seems
why would you play? Why would you play the second creature that's going to die to Electrolyze?
To an Electrolyze.
Yeah.
And Larson obviously very keen to fight over this path. And now Nayrink is not able to cast his Electrolyze this turn. Of course, previous to this, he could have activated the Field of Ruin.
Oh, he can still do it.
To fetch a mountain and then bolt. Yeah, but he can't. He can't Electrolyze.
It doesn't matter.
He can do it next turn.
Does he have the? Yeah, he does. He still has the spell in hand. So
back to Nayrink. Activate Field of Ruin.
He might be back in this game.
Both players going to search for a basic. You can bet your bottom dollar Nayrink's going to find a mountain. Yes, he does.
Took him a while to find it, but now Joel has 3 Pass to Exile in hand.
Yeah.
And just a lone Celestial Colonnade in play.
And Nayrink on 5.
So if Branko can find a way to not die to the... But he also has a Teferi in hand.
A Lightning Bolt fired off now against the Vendilion Click from the hand of Branko Nayrink. He's been sitting on that bolt for a while. And this is going to provoke a response from Larson. Larson acting with near perfect information throughout this entire match. And you have to get this feeling that he hasn't used it to his to best advantage here.
Oh, okay.
But a path in response to the Vendilion Click. Better than casting the Dispel.
Yeah, the spell I was confused for a second, but right. But he's cycling his Path to Exile.
Yeah, for a land. Weird kind of rampant growth there. As Nayrink now takes to the stage. 5 mana. Secure the waste off the top here for the Belgian. And looks like he's going to ship it straight back to Larson. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, now there's only one Snapcaster Mage, and with a Secure the Waste and double Electrolyze.
Yeah, that thing's never getting across. if Larson, if Naring doesn't choose a Cryptic Command off the top. What are your thoughts there, Raf?
It's a big game.
Large game?
That's XXL.
XXL game
XXL
here
game
for
here.
Larson with a Cryptic Command off the top.
Yeah, because now we can attack. Can he attack and play Cryptic Command? Yes, he can.
Yes, he can. But he has to tap the Celestial Colonnade to do it. But hey, whatever.
But that's okay.
That's fine.
Well, he's
no,
not.
Can't do it this time. Now, Serum Visions finds a Snapcaster again, also known in the business as Large Game. Ghost Quarter on the top. And another blue card. Didn't get a good look at that one.
How many cards doesn't Joel know from Branko's hand?
So top bottom.
He doesn't know about Teferi.
No.
And he doesn't know about Secure the Waste.
He knows about double Electrolyze Dispel. And
so
Cryptic. If Naring still has a Cryptic.
Down to 3.
Naring takes it here. And Larson. He's Kingdom for a Lightning Bolt here, but it's not going to work out for him on white-blue. Here's Cryptic Command. And that's going to meet a Secure the Waste for 1 here for Naring. Not the finest Secure the Waste we've ever seen.
Not the smallest, but very close to the smallest.
Very close to the smallest. Just about as small as you can get there.
0. You can do it for 0.
Lightning Bolt off the top. And Naring ships once again. Path to Exile on the Warrior there. And that's going to give Naring another basic here in the form of an island. Larson smells blood in the water. Can he get across here? Of course, there is the Electrolyze to worry about, so the Snapcaster Mage may not do it, but Celestial Colonnade could be the elemental for the job here. It looks like Naring has no other answer apart from his Cryptic Command, so he has to go Bolt Cryptic here if he wants to stay alive.
He was actually so close from coming back in this game.
Yeah.
He was so close.
Things took a turn for the worse there. Larson took a couple of questionable lines I don't fully understand, but all the same, he's getting it done here. Still got Cryptic Mana available, does Larson, in addition to Snapcaster Mage in hand. Don't forget about that. And Naring now in a very tight spot here. And Cryptic Command on the Celestial Colonnade. Looks like we're going to try to bounce that one. Larson, if he's got to attack, he's got to negate. And that is going to do it. Yo Larson makes the finals of GP Stockholm on home turf. His family is here with him behind us, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Mother Larson. No, get over this way. There they are. Mother and Father Larson. There they are. They're beside themselves with joy. Can't believe their luck because their son has made it in his hometown to the final of the GP. Congratulations to him, but of course commiserations to Branko Naring. She's off to say well done to her progeny there. Well done to Branko Naring for making it all the way to the semis. A great result for a great player, but the finals, 2 of the hardest hitting heavyweights on the continent, Raf, in the form of Andrei Strasky with Banned Spirits and Joel Larson with White-Blue Control. It's going to be Tim Willoughby and Simon Gertzen to bring you across all the action. That's it for Raf and I. Thanks for hanging out with us this weekend. It's been great hanging out with you, and it's been great hanging out. Well, I have to say that
it was okay.
On camera. I'll say it was great. Thanks so much, mate. It's been fantastic. I'll tell you what I really think in about 15 seconds. But my friends, the final, only moments away. You're not going to want to miss it. Who will be crowned the champion of GP Stockholm? Stick around, and you'll find out after this.